Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. I'm your host, Scott Knudsen, with two special guests from Science Supplements, Ryan and Jenna Mulligan. And Ryan is the general manager for North America, and Jenna is the head of nutrition. So thank y'all both for joining the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I love the background. The horses are so cool, man. It's just like they're coming at us.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few of them decked out around the office and the conference room here, so it's a pretty fun place to walk into.
Heck yeah, man, that's awesome. And I see some of your supplements there on the table, so we'll talk about them here in a minute. But I guess the first story, whenever you jumped into Science Supplements, y'all were telling me earlier about y'all were in the UK at the Queen's Cup, and it was a big deal. So what was that like?
Well, I think one of the really fun parts was before we flew over to the UK, we were told that we were coming over for hospitality. So we thought we were going to be working in their hospitality tent and helping out. And no, it was just a chance for us to go see the UK, see one of their big shows. We got to give out the Queen Elizabeth Cup, which was a enormous, solid, silver, beautiful cup. And the horse was trying to bite it from us, the winner. It was awesome.
Thought it was a feat.
It's going right in the middle of the deal.
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Got to be at the Hickstead Showgrounds, which is one of the oldest showgrounds in England for the All England Jump Off. It was amazing. To see the horses at the Olympic level, to hear names called over the grandstand that riders have been watching for decades in the show jumping world. It was amazing.
Wow, how humbling and so exciting at the same time.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Wow, that must have been just a great experience. And it's when you can share with other people. You know, you saw the industry at the highest level,
right?
Yes.
Levels. And now, you know, we're talking to people about Science Supplements and getting their horses to another level.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, it was a great first start for sure. So how did y'all become involved with Science Supplements? I know, Ryan, you were a DJ, and Jenna, you were an assistant professor at a university. So how did y'all get started? How did you find them?
Well, my master's was in animal science, master's of science in animal science at North Carolina State University. My advisor she is one of the top equine nutritionists in the world. And she is personal friends with the head scientist for Science Supplements. So Science Supplements has been in the UK for almost 20 years now. It's an international company, but when they wanted to come to the US, their head scientist talked to my advisor and said, who can we get for boots on the ground? Who can we trust to be our nutritionist, to take calls, to work with customers, to understand the climate in the US, the management? And she recommended me, said I was her favorite grad student. So that's how we got started. They wanted to know if I could set up internet and taxes, and I said, no, I cannot. But my husband has an excellent work history with the Navy, financial planning, all kinds of different things. So that's how we kind of got him involved in it. And that's where we are now.
So she gets to talk all the fun horse stuff, and then I do all the accounting and taxes and all the other things.
That's the balance, isn't it? Isn't that the balance?
Absolutely. It's a good team. It's a good team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, what great timing for you to be there and get that call from the professor and bring such a name brand overseas to America, well, to North America. So, what are the fun things they're doing over in the UK or in Europe?
Science Supplements is taken over what used to be the Mitsubishi Cup. It's now the Science Supplements Cup. And of course, with the pandemic, it's been kind of delayed and a lot of stuff going on, but we just released all new dates. So everything's getting kicked off again. Their reviews are phenomenal. We really try to make sure we're doing all the same types of customer service and follow-up calls. They are the #1 rated brand on Trustpilot for the UK. Just huge, wonderful reviews. We get to look through all the time and see them. Now our great customers here in the US are starting to post some great reviews as well. It's just wonderful hearing people talk about how well their horses are doing.
Right.
They may have had this type of issue, that type of issue, and they're able to call up and say, you know, it's been 2 weeks. I'm already seeing some results. It's been a month. They're doing great. Everybody keeps calling back. So you hear a lot of people say, well, I'll try it out for a month or two and see how it does. And our customers just keep coming back. And it's a really great feeling.
And they call back saying we're the only supplements that have ever worked. So that's a good feeling.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's a true testament when you get the call back, the repeat order. That's phenomenal.
Especially when you're getting calls from our customers, their vets are calling us and asking about the products and starting to we're starting to get calls from referrals directly from other people's vets offices. So that's really wonderful.
That is really a blessing for sure. And I know it's been tested for so long. How long has Science Supplements been around?
Science Supplements is a brand since 2014. The products, the formularies are the brainchild of Dr. David Marlin, who knew Dr. Pratt Phillips from NC State. So he's been working on the products and the formulations for almost 20 years. It used to be strictly with your top level Olympic show jumpers. And then they really wanted to create the brand. They found better ways of doing higher volume to get pricing down and really make it available to anybody with a horse. So our pricing is very well priced, especially when you look at the ingredients, the bioavailability, what's in them. One of my really fun things is I came home one day and I thought something was wrong. Jenna had tears coming down her face and she's in front of the computer. I'm like, babe, what's going on? What's the matter? And she was just so excited about the quality of the products that we offer.
The amount of ingredients, the spectrum that they covered. Like for instance, our joint supplement, we're hitting joint care from multiple angles, multiple products. We're not just picking a few things and hoping that will cover it. It's a wide range at bioavailable ingredients at a high enough level to make a difference, and really pinpointing it without fillers or anything extra in there. So I was looking through and doing comps for us versus the US, and the levels of active ingredients were just blowing everybody else out of the water. So I'm really glad to know that as a nutritionist and scientist that I have full faith in these products and I'm seeing the results, and I can tell you why they work and I can show you horses they work on. So
that's perfect. So if somebody hadn't used supplements, or maybe like you say, they haven't used supplements and they haven't been happy with what they've used, how do they get started with Science Supplements? I know your website is great and your social media is great. Do they ask a question, or what's the easiest way for someone that's never used them to find y'all?
Yeah, so one thing that we would like is one reason that people have problem with supplements, they don't know what their horse needs. So we do have a toll-free nutrition advice line. Feel free to call in. If I answer the phone, I might have to put you on hold so you can talk to Jenna. But yeah, give us a call. If you already know what you have, you're already trying a product that your vet's recommended, but it might not be exactly, you might not be seeing the results that you want. We like to say, take the Science Supplements challenge. We have a full money back guarantee. So if you try the products and you're not getting a result from it, we will give you your money back. We haven't had to do that. We had products here in the States starting in January. We've not had anybody request their money back. Again, all of our customers are coming back. So take the challenge. Give us a try. Our website's very easy to use. We're on Amazon. You go through Facebook to find us, Instagram. Pretty much everything will bring you right back to our website. Our Google page as well has all of our products listed out. So we're very easy to find right now.
And if you prefer to email, we've got a contact through the website. You can send us an email. And I'll go through your diet. I can go through management problems you've had. I can see, look at what your horse has had in the past. I'll do an analysis. If you're on a fantastic product and it's working, I'm not going to try to switch you off of it. Just if it's working, it's working. But let's see what we can do to maybe complement that. Or maybe there's a management problem that we can work on. Something simple through my 25 years of being an equestrian and having 2 degrees in animal science. There might be something. I've boarded, I've owned my horses, I've done everything. So there might be something that I can help you out with, just a suggestion that it's a management thing that we can tweak and help. So.
Just practice-wise, Jenna has her undergrad from Clemson University, and her focus was equine business management. So there have been a few people that have called up where it was just as simple as modifying the turnout and doing a couple other things, and their horse started doing better. So it doesn't always mean that you're going to have to buy 5 different tubs of products, and no, sometimes there's a much easier fix.
Yep. And usually those management things are the long-term fixes that really help the horse. And I try to go through every other aspect, and then we see what supplements are there to fill in the gaps, because that's really how equine nutrition should work, is finding out how to manage your horses for their best life, to feel their best. Every horse deserves to feel great, look great, have a great life. So let's look at it from all approaches. And then if we can help fill in the gap, then that's why we're here with a tub. But number one is the nutrition, the management, making horses feel better. So
see, that's awesome. And as a horse owner, and I've been in the industry for so long, the number one thing we want to do is take care of our horses. We want to take care of them. The other thing we want to do is always get better, and always get the horse to that next level. And we take vitamins as a human, so it makes sense to do the supplements to get to that next level, or give yourself a shot to win, or enjoy it, or make it a better ride.
For sure.
Definitely.
I raise and breed quarter horses, and I use the muscle builder, and I love it. And I've been on it for a while, and when we started our relationship with Science Supplement a while back, and it's doing great. And I was on your Facebook, and I saw a video, and I was wondering if you could tell us about Safe Salt and maybe show us about Safe Salt.
I'll get it set up, and I'll let you talk about it a little bit.
All right.
So Safe Salt, we've had people say, isn't all salt safe? And yes, it is safe biologically. But there's two groups of horses that tend to have problems with intaking salt, but we all know that horses need salt added to their diet. In the average equine diet, sodium in particular is almost always deficient. So horses typically need some type of top dressing for salt, and your average horse, just a scoop of what you have in your cabinet is fine. But some horses do not like the flavor. They don't like that salty taste, and it could be so much that it puts them off of their entire meal if you've top dressed it on their feed. And then horses with ulcers, that's a really big risk factor. If you give a horse with ulcers salt, you're literally putting salt on the wound. And we know how painful that is. So that's something not everyone has thought about. And when their horse just refuses to eat, and they're fussy, and they're chomping at their mouth when they're eating, it may be that this is a horse with an ulcer, and that salt is aggravating it. So at Science Supplements, we developed a safe salt for these horses. It eliminates the salty flavor, and it's also not going to irritate the gastric lining for horses with ulcers. So what we did is we took our salt molecules basically and encapsulated them in oil. So think of a really thin layer of oil surrounding the salt. And if you've ever had a vinaigrette with oil and vinegar, we all know oil and vinegar doesn't mix because of the fat and then the water of the vinegar. So when we put oil around the salt, now the salt can't dissolve in water. The inside of the horse's stomach is filled with fluid from the gastric juices that help it to digest. So when we capsulate it with oil, it doesn't taste like salt anymore. It just tastes like nothing pretty much. And then when it gets inside the horse's stomach, the salt that's encapsulated in oil kind of clumps together. So this is what we can demonstrate. We can show you, if you imagine these glasses of water are like the horse's stomach that would be filled with water.
So this is your regular salt, covering up the name, but everybody knows the brand, I'm sure.
Okay, yeah, this is fine, okay.
And this is one of our Safe Salt scoops, but again, this is just regular salt. And I'm gonna pour that on in there.
And if this is your horse's stomach, you now have salt water. Looks like the ocean, tastes like the ocean. That picky horse doesn't want to eat it, and the ulcer horse is in pain right now because of the salt contact in the edges. And I don't want to drink this. Nobody wants to drink this.
All right, and then what we have here, again, this is our Safe Salt. And this is the scoop that comes with it. So we'll get a big heaping scoop, that way we can see kind of what happens here. On our cup of water. Now as we pour it in there, you can see that big old clump just kind of falls to the bottom.
And notice it doesn't dissolve. It stays together because fat-soluble things like to stay together with fat, or water stays with water, so they kind of repel each other a little bit. So this doesn't have a salty flavor now. This water just tastes like water.
Hang on, let me try.
Yeah, try it.
It's from the tap, so it tastes like tap water.
No funny face, right? And if this is the horse's stomach, then same thing is happening where these salt molecules are kind of just staying together and floating together. So if this is the wall of the horse's stomach, that salt's not touching those ulcers. And then when all of the food leaves the stomach and goes into the small intestine, that's when fat digestion actually starts for the horse. There is no fat digestion really in the stomach, it's minimal. So when we get into the small intestine, the fat digestion takes place, and that wears down the oil, and now your horse can absorb the salt. And the other perk to this is that the small intestine is the best place for salt to be absorbed. So it improves the absorption. It doesn't aggravate ulcers. It doesn't taste salty for your picky horses. It really checks a lot of boxes. And the Safe Salt is just sodium and chloride, but we also have what we call complete electrolytes, which has the same encapsulation technology, but it has sodium, chloride, calcium, potassium, and magnesium. So it checks off all 5 electrolytes that horses lose when sweating, and we've put them in here in the ratio that horses lose them in sweat. So we're really replenishing those levels as your horse is sweating off those 5 electrolytes. We're replacing at the same ratio, so hence complete electrolytes. We're not giving them anything extra they don't need, and we're matching what they're losing in sweat.
Oh, wow. So cool. And the water is so clear. You can just see it's
Yeah.
not cloudy like the last one.
And it still tastes good.
That makes sense. So many people don't know. They think they're doing the best thing for their horse, and they're giving them a salt, or they have the salt blocks out, and they have an ulcer, and it burns them.
Yeah.
You indirectly don't know you're doing something that's maybe not as helpful.
Yeah. And salt blocks can be good if your horse is willing to eat them, but we've got research actually with the Safe Salt product where we compared how much salt was actually taken in voluntarily using a salt block versus how much they were able to get with the top dressing of the Safe Salt, and showed that horses consumed a lot more salt when it was top dressed versus voluntarily choosing it from the salt block. And then the second part of that was showing that they drank a lot more water once they got more salt in them. So salt blocks can be good if your horse is really going through them at a regular pace, but a lot of horses just kind of push them aside.
They don't. That's exactly right. So I can see the benefit of this for sure. For sure. So advice. Can y'all give the people watching the show any advice on becoming an entrepreneur? Like I said, you got diverse backgrounds, and you came across science supplements, and here you are pushing out to North America. That's a big deal. Yeah. So how do you do that if somebody watching wants to change careers or be an entrepreneur?
I would say, so I was a business major at Mars College, Mars University now, and my focus was entrepreneurship because I always wanted to have a company, something that I loved and that was my baby. And with every other job I had, I treat it as if I was the person who owned it and ran it. And when the owner, the president of the corporation came to the U.S. and we met with him about helping start science supplements here in the U.S., that was the big thing. He said he wanted somebody who would run it as if it was their own. So being able to work side by side with my wife, working with animals and horses that we absolutely love, and being able to help people. So if you want to be that entrepreneur, find your passion, find something you love. I haven't been to work in a day since I started this because it's fun. If it's something that you love, doesn't feel like work anymore. Right. So
I would say from more of a scientific background too, a big thing is to be flexible with your path. You may have an original plan of where your career should go, but be willing to take opportunities when they come and understand that no knowledge is lost. There's things that I learned when I was a professor that helped when I was building my online class shells that have helped us build the website now. There's things as a veterinary technician.
She actually built the majority of our website herself. Yeah. So that's pretty awesome.
I'd never really done that before, but I took that experience from being a professor and knowing how to build it for students to be able to use a website and apply that to now building a internationally, recognized website. So understanding that no knowledge is wasted and that you may feel like you're doing a job that's not on your track, but it'll come back. It'll always come back. And you can use that to be unique from the rest of the herd when people are looking for someone who can fill a position. My professor didn't recommend me because I was an absolutely best scientist, but I was pretty good. But it was my organization, it was my follow through, that I could be independent, I could work with a team. It was having that skill set that made it possible to forge forward with this company.
Very cool. That's so cool. And when we get our science supplement, we took a few pictures with some of the horses and just having fun. And we had this one little girl, and she just kept coming up, getting her picture, and I think we sent it to y'all.
Absolutely.
People were like, y'all need to run this thing out there with the articles, and we're so excited. We're gonna, you might have that picture of that horse with that supplement. And
we sure will, absolutely. So we've got some magazine ads that are going out right now. We're doing some online ads to help get that name out. We're really focusing on retail stores and vets offices and farriers. As a matter of fact, we have a 2-page spread in the Farrier Journal that just came out last month. For those in the Northeast, up in New England, we're in the Northeast Equestrian Life magazine, which is a free magazine that's handed out all over the place. And we're going to be on their cover next 2 months, I believe. Working with Horse Illustrated, Equus, Practical Horseman, because we want to get out. We're not only for the elite riders. We're priced well. Our products work. We know it. We're giving the money back guarantee because we know that they're going to work for you. And if you have any issues or any problems, you're not sure what to get, we're here. We're available over the phone. We're available online, email, whatever. We really want all of our products except for Muscle Builder, which has a beautiful quarter horse on the front of it right now. But all of our products are the same images that they had in the UK. Well, we have so many different types of riding styles and such. We want to make sure that we start putting some of our US riders, some of our Western horses, some of the different types of some of our saddlebreds, different imagery on the tubs. So things like seeing your filly pop up there and want to be in the images with the tubs, that's great because we want to see more of that. We have a lot of customers that are sending us pictures and such of their horses. We would like to be able to start incorporating those onto the tubs and some of our other marketing and such.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm just so proud of y'all. I want to thank you again for helping the industry. Anything we can do that helps our horses get better, have a better, longer life is what we want to do and get behind for sure. And that's great. Anything we can do to support, we'll definitely do that. And thanks for being on the show today, and thanks for helping the industry out.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you.
We appreciate the opportunity.
Thank y'all for watching.
Thank you.